hottest topics, the latest rumors, in-depth discussions, and the biggest headlines. Your weekly WWE fix all in one place. Find us on YouTube, iTunes, Automatic, and SoundCloud. This is the Main Event Podcast with your hosts, Arif and Raza. It's time for the Main Event.
We're only a few days away from SummerSlam now, and NXT TakeOver takes place tomorrow, depending on when you're listening to this, I guess. If it's after the weekend, hopefully you enjoyed both shows. But if you're listeling in before that, welcome. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Main Event
Just carry on,
Podcast.
Rosa. I'm just going to eat this packet of crisps.
Okay. Hope you're having a fantastic week and are excited with SummerSlam and TakeOver right around the corner with some amazing matches set to take place. As always, I'm your host, Rosa.
This is the quietest packet of crisps I've ever had.
It's still loud for me.
Oh, sorry.
Still irritating, but some things never change.
Well, what isn't?
Pardon?
What isn't
I
irritating?
have no idea. I'm your host, Rosa, and joining me is everyone's favourite co-host on this particular podcast. It's Arif. How's it going?
Kittens aren't irritating, actually, if you think about it. Kittens are quite cool.
It depends.
Does anyone have a kitten?
I don't.
I have 3.
Do you? Are you one of those lonely cat ladies?
You've just described my life.
Apologies for the late upload, but it's celebrations all around. Not only because it's TakeOver and SummerSlam, but a certain somebody celebrating his 35th birthday today.
What? that's not... It's not... Oh, Mojo Rawley.
Mojo Rawley.
Mojo Rawley's birthday.
Happy birthday to Arif.
Happy birthday to me.
That's dedication.
Happy birthday. Oh, we could do Creepy Mysterio. Do you remember that? That was.
Do you think our new listeners know who Creepy Mysterio is? You want to give them some context?
Happy birthday to Dominic.
That's Creepy Mysterio.
Birthday. Yeah, that's Creepy Mysterio.
I didn't miss him at all.
Hog Holmes.
Okay, so today, a TakeOver and SummerSlam focused show. We're predicting both a TakeOver Brooklyn card as well as SummerSlam. We are discussing the club and Paul Heyman as well, and much more on episode 55 of the Main Event Podcast, so stick around for all of that and much more. Before we do get on, I'd just like to remind you that there are plenty of ways you can tune in every single week. You can subscribe to us on iTunes as well as YouTube. So please subscribe to our channel, like the videos, comment, recommend to your friends as well. We'd greatly appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also catch us on Podomatic and SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
Again, doing really well on Podomatic, so thank you for listening there. Just search for the Main Event Podcast and you will find us on those platforms, and our email address as well, tmepodcast@gmail.com.
Why do we never celebrate the other places now?
Which places are these?
Deezer.
I don't know if we're on Deezer anymore, I'm not checked. But yeah, if we're there, you can listen to us there.
Deezer, possibly. These are all with a caveat.
Yeah.
Deezer.
www.com.
Daily Motion.
Yeah. Just find us, just type the Main Event Podcast in anywhere. If we're there, we're there. If we're not.
There's a type of hub that we're on as well.
Oh, we?
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Corn Hub, I think it is.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said Corn Hub. Corn.
Oh, come on.
The hub of corn. The best place to find corn.
Yeah, and the social media links are in the description as well, wherever it is you're listening, including our Instagram, which we're trying to post regularly, depending on when big news breaks as well, and updates about the podcast and whatnot. So search for TME Podcast, and you'll see us then. Give us a follow. Just before we kick on, really quickly, I want to start the show with this, not end it. Who wins the battle this week between Raw and SmackDown? Raw is leading 2-0. Our podcast is on 1 point, so we're beating SmackDown, because last week it was so bad. Arif, who are you going to give this point to this week?
Okay, now, full disclosure, Raza.
Okay.
The life of Arif has been a little bit busier than he had hoped. I don't know why I'm speaking about Arif in the third person. The life of Arif is, I'm doing it again. My life has been very busy over the past couple of days. So much so that I haven't really had a chance to truly sit down and enjoy Raw and SmackDown.
Okay.
Therefore, I think it's really only fair for you to maybe go through maybe like a 45-minute to an hour review of each show in true detail.
Okay.
Doing different voices for the different characters and actors and wrestlers that are on there. Obviously, giving your in-depth analysis throughout. And then that would be the only fair way for me to give a rating. Alternatively, you could just take the rating this week.
Raw wins. So it's 3.
Raw wins! You heard it here first!
Raw wins, yeah.
Raw wins!
Right, and so it's a 3-0 lead to Raw. 1 point to the Main Event Podcast for being a bad week last week, but there was a little bit of improvement this week. Not major, but a little bit. Right, no more time wasting. Let's go on with today's episode, and we're kicking off this SummerSlam / NXT focused episode with the club.
Call us peanut butter because this episode is stacked.
Yes, good one that. Well, actually, it's probably not the best structured topic because there's so many angles to this story or rumor, whatever you want to call it. A little bit unpredictable, potentially fantasy booking as well, but I think it does fit around SummerSlam, so we do need to break it down bit by bit. First off, I'm hearing a lot on this, plenty of thoughts as well online, so I have to ask the main question. Was it too early for the WWE to reveal the Demon King on Raw?
Oh man, this was such a terrible move.
Mm.
This is it ruins the craziness and the mystery around the character to fans who've only ever seen the Demon in a smaller arena or only ever seen the Demon on NXT, or even a lot of fans who probably even haven't watched NXT, haven't seen Finn Balor as the Demon. It really cheapened his character because he's gone from the Fonz Finn Balor, which is what I think of his biker gear and he's basically hey, he's the Fonz. But to take that and then have him come out as the Demon, who's supposed to only be there for special occasions, it's a little bit strange, isn't it?
I think it's 4 or 5 times a month, maybe 6 last year with takeovers.
And even there it became stale.
Yeah, it did. I think
even there it became stale. So to give it away on a free show, I mean, you could argue that they're doing it to bring people into the pay-per-view to say, look, the Demon's wrestling, the Demon King is wrestling.
It did sound throughout the night they sound saying Demon King. Demon Kane, sorry. Where are you?
Where's Kane? Where's Demon Kane?
I do think on one hand it was probably too early. This is the moneymaker. This is where they draw the big bucks, the selling point. This is what fans have come to see. So I thought giving it away on Raw for free felt like there was probably not going to be a surprise left for SummerSlam. The only thing I can assume is maybe he'll switch up a little bit, perhaps add another gimmick onto it. I know in TakeOver London, I think it was last year, he channeled his inner Chainsaw Charlie and brought a chainsaw to the ring throughout his entrance. I don't know what kind of gimmick he can incorporate in Brooklyn. Unless
I think it's too early for the gimmick, and I think it'll still be the regular Demon. I mean, what we saw last year was the evolution of the Demon when he was in NXT. We saw the regular Demon that we saw on Raw this week, and then slowly but surely, the face paint, the body paint evolved. He added more things to the design of the character, and that was one of the appealing things about Finn Balor. And it was, when's the next pay-per-view? And because they were all 3 months apart, it was enjoyable. Because it's what's he going to come out with next? Now it's just, we've already seen it. He's probably going to come out with the same design. And if he skips a step and goes to the next design so quickly, what was the point in the first one?
I get it. I think SummerSlam should have been the night they revealed the Demon. I don't think there should have been a segment.
Do you know what? In my opinion, I even think SummerSlam was too early.
Perhaps,
He's still running with the Finn Balor gimmick right now. Why not keep that on him? Why not wait for the Demon? And if the rumors are true with the club, or if all of this does come to fruition with a variation of the Bullet Club from Japan, the second iteration of it, then why not leave him as Finn Balor, the regular Finn Balor with the Fonz gear, and have him as part of the club there? And then eventually, in a couple of years, you can debut the solo Finn Balor as the Demon. I think it would mean more.
Yeah. I think I can understand the angle WWE were trying to look at it as Seth Rollins looking down on Finn Balor than having this Demon who's probably superior to him. But again, I think SummerSlam was early enough, so Raw was just pointless. I don't think it should happen then. As you said, now we've seen the sort of mysterious aura that he brings sort of disappeared now because you're expecting the same thing as SummerSlam. But yeah, that's obviously something a lot of people have been talking about, why it shouldn't have happened.
The worry is, if Finn Balor now loses as the Demon, then where does he go from here? Whereas if he wasn't the Demon, you could theoretically say, okay, well, he can take the loss, and then next time, if he's the Demon, you've got this, okay, well, look, Finn Balor can take it to that next level. He can really bring out something different and bring out something that's evolved him as a character to say, you know what, I don't normally do this, but when I do, this is how I'm going to beat you. I think there's a move in Japan, and this is going off track a little bit. There's a move in Japan that someone does, forgive me for not knowing who it is, and he only ever brings it out when he really needs it. And it's nobody's ever kicked out of it. And I liken that to the Demon experience in a sense. I feel like the way to really push Finn Balor is to have him as a regular character, and only when he truly needs it, he becomes the Demon and he's unbeatable.
That makes perfect sense. That's how you sell it as well. That's how you get people invested in the Demon as well. Not when you give it away on a Raw and then potentially have him lose as well at SummerSlam in his first pay-per-view.
And I can see it happening now with the other rumors that are going about, but we'll go into those now, I'm sure.
Yeah, but this is where it takes a different turn, and the assumption is that Finn Balor, win or lose, will form the club again, leading his friends Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, which is what many expected anyway, when he was still on NXT as well. That, you could say, brings a heel turn for Balor, effectively, or potentially turning Rollins face in the process. Mm-hmm. Is this a wise move? Should Balor reform the club at SummerSlam? If he does, surely they have to be heels. They can't have Gallows and Anderson turn face the same night after taking on the New Day.
The problem is, I think it's just what a variation of what I was saying earlier as well. They should have done either the Demon or the club, not both. The fact that they've given away the Demon now makes me think, wait for the club. You've always got time.
That's the thing. I think the club will definitely play a part in this for sure. For me, it links in back with the Demon King reveal. I think with so much focus on the Demon, it makes it feel like it's probably a distraction. And the club are the reason Balor will potentially leave as the champion. And again, on the opposite side, Vince wants Rollins to remain a heel. So it probably won't happen. But I mean, if it does, at least a New Day can reunite with the captain if Rollins does somehow turn face. But again, the main rumour going around is if the club do play a part, it could be Seth Rollins that leads them instead. Ooh. Is that something that we could pull off successfully?
This is interesting. But then does that not ruin the potential of the club teaming with Balor in the future?
I don't know.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah. I think Rollins can pull it off. I think it's probably his reputation he has with, from the Shield, which could probably help make Gallows and Anderson seem bigger than they are. Booking hasn't been in their favour. I mean, over the last few weeks it's been good. But at the same time, I think the nostalgia of having the trio of Balor, Gallows and Anderson together, that's something the fans want to see.
Yes.
And I think as heels, aligning with Rollins does make perfect sense. It's a good move for Rollins. Helps him draw even more heat, while it makes Balor a bigger face because his best friends have turned on him. Mm-hmm. And I do think it could help set up a better story for the future, rather than diving into this as a team. Helps him stay the ultimate babyface with his friends turning on Rollins, maybe, before final battle. That's why I think Gallows and Anderson are the catalyst in this match.
Do you not think that it's a little bit too soon for all of this, though?
I do, but I think SummerSlam probably is the place to do it.
Okay, so look at it from a regular fan's point of view, which is what I always try and do.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing back a couple of months ago, AJ Styles with the club, and we've heard this story about how they were all friends in Japan.
Yeah.
And then on Raw now, we get this whole story of the club coming out and taking the guy with the blonde streak in his hair, Seth Rollins' side. They take Seth Rollins' side, and then we get this whole. It's very difficult to put into words because it's such a difficult scenario, because it's like you're trying to explain to a fan that, okay, well, the club were also with AJ Styles, but then they were also with Finn Balor. But now we don't get to see that experience. We don't get to see that combination. We don't get to see that connection. All we do is we hear it from the commentators and we hear it from other people. And I feel like they need to establish that first. I mean, one of the main reasons why the Shield were so successful and then became so good enemies is because they were together for so long. The reason why Triple H and Shawn Michaels had such a great feud is because we knew their backstory. We knew what they were all about. It's the same thing with the club and Finn Balor and even Seth Rollins. I think it wouldn't be a good idea because regular fans wouldn't understand the situation as well as maybe we would.
I think it is too much too soon as well for Balor, who one week debuts, then the next is more contender, then main events, then is the Demon, then the Balor Club. So I can understand. But again, with so much focus on the Balor Club, I do think it probably will happen sooner rather than later. Again, I think the question is it going to be the Balor Club or are they going to join with Rollins? Just a waiting game, I guess, to see.
I hope not. I definitely hope not. I hope it's, if anything, Balor Club with Balor.
Yeah. But again, does that mean Balor turns heel?
Hey, if that's what has to happen, it has to happen.
But again, he should be the biggest face now on Raw.
Could we not make them faces?
That's what I'm not sure about. Is because on the same night you take on the biggest faces in the company in the New Day, you turn face yourself. Which
So who could theoretically come out to help Rollins? Apart from Jon Stewart.
I genuinely have no idea. I don't even know which tag teams are on Raw.
What if
that
we
could
got a
help
debut by the Revival or something like that? If they lost their tag team titles and we got the Revival to come out and then they became Rollins' backup and then we got...
That'd be good. That'd benefit them. Obviously, they are probably one of the best tag teams in NXT history because really good wrestlers. I can see that happening. Natural heels. Whether Triple H wants to take them out of NXT already is a different question. But yeah, I think that probably is a good shout. That's if we see any of this. It might just be regular Demon versus Rollins and the Demon wins.
And maybe that's the right thing to do right now. Because
But yeah, again, the rumors have been going around.
Yeah, but there are always going to be rumors about this, though.
I guess, but I think if at SummerSlam they're saying that's how Raw's going to try and stay ahead of SmackDown as well by doing things like this. But yeah, let us know who you think should lead the club if it ever forms. Should it be Balor? Should it be Rollins?
Should it be AJ Styles again?
Should it be AJ Styles? Yeah. Rather than a quick break to cool ourselves down. Are you feeling warm, Arif?
Do you know what? In this weather, I would love some ice cream.
It's pouring down as well. Yeah, it is time for Arif's favourite segment. I'm talking about the scoops, not vanilla chocolate strawberry. I'm talking the 5 biggest talking points from this past week. All we're going to do is simply discuss what's been going on. 5 biggest stories that just didn't make it onto the episodes, unfortunately.
Well, they did, but as scoops, which is
yeah. Do you think
in some ways better?
Yeah, I was going to say they have a whole segment dedicated to them.
Exactly.
But yeah, out of 5, we have the big news. Both Alberto Del Rio and Paige have both been suspended by the WWE for 30 days for anti-doping violations.
Surprising. Together.
Yeah. It's their first violation, so only 30 days rather than 60.
Together as a...
Real-life couples.
Ooh.
No prizes for guessing what they were probably doing. But I think it's surprising that they announced it on Paige's birthday as well, even though the suspension was in effect the following day, so they should have announced it the following day.
Happy birthday, Paige. You gotta go home.
Yeah. But, I mean, she wasn't on TV anyway because of injury, but, you know, that's not a good thing to have on your record, is it? And with Del Rio, we'll get into that in a little bit anyway.
Isn't this his second violation, or was he just juiced when he was in Lucha Underground?
Potentially juiced.
Rosa, there's no potential about that. Did you see him in Lucha Underground?
I'm not seeing anything, just in case someone.
He was stacked and ripped.
Well,
like when he came back at Battleground or whenever it was last year, and he faced John Cena. Oh my days, that guy was ridiculous. There is no way he was not juiced.
All I'm saying is, in the WWE, this is his first violation, so it's 30 days.
Okay.
It's also Paige's first violation, so 30 days. Not only that, but Eva Marie's also been suspended as well.
No!
For a wellness violation. It's not looking good, this is for the WWE.
Oh my god!
What's that now? Roman Reigns. I guess you can count Brock Lesnar as a WWE superstar. Sure. Del Rio, Paige. Even that's 5 in the space of a few months.
But Randy Orton's have been wiped clean.
Wiped clean, yeah.
His slate is clear.
Her husband has been saying something on Twitter about it being an unjust suspension. I think he needs to be careful with what he says too, because that could be bad for Eva Marie.
Yep.
If he goes out of line. But WWE.com, they've tried to incorporate this into an angle, saying we have to wait even longer for a debut because of she's unavailable for 30 days. So I guess it balances itself out, apart from having this on her record as well.
If anything, it works for her.
It does, but again, it's just when you look down in history, oh yeah, she's God knows what she's done. If her husband is right,
nobody cares at that point.
I guess so. But yeah,
People already hate her.
If her husband is right, then you can't argue with that.
But don't worry, we at the Main Event Podcast are huge fans of Eva Marie.
Of course, yes, we are. All we have to do is go back to our Instagram for that first post with Eva Marie.
Exactly.
At number 4, rumoured backstage heat on any guesses?
Rusev.
Dean Ambrose.
No.
Apparently,
because of his Stone Cold podcast.
Yeah, apparently Triple H and Vince are a little annoyed with Ambrose for some of the comments he made on that podcast. This one didn't make much sense to me. I believe it's a shoot interview. It's not scripted. So surely they should expect certain things to come out. But yeah, they didn't appreciate him hitting out creative because creative effectively runs through them. And they're also not happy with comments he made about Brock Lesnar as well, which we touched on last week with Ambrose saying Lesnar didn't want to do anything for their match at WrestleMania.
No,
So,
don't give it away for free. If they want to listen to it, they got to go back to last week.
yeah, you can do. Just forget I said that.
Yep.
Yeah, again, you have to wonder how much heat is he in. Is it, mild backstage heat? It's almost that Ziggler could dethrone him.
Oh my God.
Have to watch
The
SummerSlam.
prophecy is going to be fulfilled.
That's such a bad way for Ziggler to win.
No, it's not. No. This is going to be amazing.
Okay, we'll see. At number 3.
The predictions.
At number 3, there's a rumor going around that Triple H wants Alberto Del Rio out of the WWE.
Let's come back.
It's not just because of the suspension. Apparently, they don't see eye to eye. He sees him as disrespectful. His contract is expiring, so he probably won't be pushed as well.
Perro.
Yeah, it can only. I don't even know if Triple H is the one who wanted him back. Probably Vince, because Vince is a big fan of him, and apparently, once the brand split went into effect, Vince wanted a push for Del Rio. Triple H has basically said, no, that's not happening, and now Vince is agreeing to it. No. So it won't be a surprise to see him leaving soon. October, I think, is when his contract expires.
It was only a year contract.
I doubt he'll re-sign anyway if things are going the way they are. At number 2, we could be set for a groundbreaking new story or character coming to the WWE. Stephanie McMahon revealed at an event last week that they could be integrating LGBT storylines and characters into future programming.
Yes, okay.
Won't get into the full story. I might as well do some shameless plugging. Head over to givemesport.com, links in the description to read the full story.
Oh, but I want to know it now.
A lot of backlash surrounding that, as expected from our American folk across the pond who have...
Are there any particular, I don't know, WWE women that are potentially going to be playing in this?
It might be new.
Oh?
New characters or stories.
So what you're saying is I've still got a chance with Alexa Bliss?
Oh, of course, yes.
Okay, that's fine.
If you thought you did before, then yeah, you've still got one.
Yep.
But yeah, I was thinking about do they need to do this? I mean, I'm not, it doesn't bother me in any way, but do they need to?
TV shows are trying to incorporate this sort of thing on the regular these days because it is a huge talking point. The problem is if you've got this is the thing. If you've got a character like Darren Young, and this is how they're handling it correctly.
Yeah.
Yes, he's gay. Does it affect anything else in his life? No. The fact that they're potentially now, and I've heard rumors that they're potentially bringing up somebody as the partner to Darren Young or something like this. It doesn't really, or maybe I just dreamt this. It doesn't really make sense to me because you're missing the fundamentals of the LGBT community and what they stand for, which is just normality.
Yeah.
You want it to be normal and natural. If it's not normal and natural, then it has no place on television.
That's the thing. I don't think they need to do this.
I don't mean that as the whole like homosexuality thing is not normal and not natural. I mean the way it's portrayed.
Yeah. I think
it's to be normal and natural, like
Darren
it is
Young,
with Darren.
Yeah, Darren Young always said he doesn't want to, because he's gay in real life, he doesn't want to play someone who's gay on TV.
But even if you did, though, it's like, if that's actually real, because with something like this, the lines have to be blurred. Yeah. So if it's his true partner, I have no problem with them bringing him out with another guy, and that guy being his partner, and they have them having like this whole character based around that.
Yeah.
But it's when it's forced and when it's uncomfortable and when it's obviously fake. With something like this, I think you need to be very, very careful.
I agree. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see when that takes. I doubt it'll happen in 2016.
We should have an LGBT storyline on our podcast. I nominate you.
You can volunteer if you want. I mean, it's your birthday.
I nominate you for some of this. I will get somebody for next week, and we will play them as your partner.
That's okay. We'll go with that. At number 1, we have Brock Lesnar. Again, there's rumored to be quite a bit of heat on Lesnar. First off, there's heat on him because he hasn't been punished for his anti-doping violation by the WWE or USADA either.
So there's heat there from his colleagues.
Yeah. Okay, but more recently, there's more heat on him now. Some of the comments he made on television. I don't know if you watched the segment with Heath Slater.
Sure, but if I didn't, what would you tell somebody?
Basically, in Lesnar's contract, he has a bit more freedom to what he can say, what he can't say, what he can be punished for, what he can't be punished for. This week, Heath Slater interrupted him, and Heath Slater saying, "I've got this many kids, I need to feed them." He knows he'll get his ass kicked by Lesnar, but he needs to do this. Interesting on Heath Slater. He's been the most used star, but despite being a free agent, which is
I really like Heath Slater.
I like him as well. I think it's working for him. I mean, he got Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan booed this week.
How can his storyline evolve though? I feel like as soon as he gets a contract, he'll just be enhancement talent again. Anyway.
During the promo, when Lesnar invited him to the ring, he said, "Oh, I know you're doing this for your kids." Then he got in his face and said, "I don't give a shit about your kids." That wasn't scripted, apparently. And the feeling is, if a mid-card star said that, they'd be fired immediately. Mm-hmm. And the case for that is Brad Maddox, when he said a word, I can't say here, that rhymes with brick with a B. It said, it's interesting to know that...
Stick.
Yeah, Lesnar can get away with these things. If Heath Slater said it to Lesnar, Slater wouldn't be here. We know that's a fact.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and another thing with Orton... an Orton line was cut off. Their video packet that's been going around. Mm-hmm. There's a line that didn't make it to TV. I believe it's to do with Lesnar leaving in 2004 because he said he didn't like people. Sure. Orton responded with, "I don't like people and I'm still here," but they chose not to include that. So I think you can understand some of the frustration, especially if the WWE are catering too much towards Lesnar,
sure,
favoriting him. So yeah, we'll have to see if anything happens of that. But yeah, definitely heat on Lesnar. I don't think he really cares, to be honest, who hates him.
I think he's made enough money now to retire. He can always go back to UFC. I think even with this whole violation of their wellness policy, I think he could always go back to the UFC. He doesn't need to be here. The WWE needs Lesnar more than Lesnar needs the WWE, which is probably why he gets all these liberties that you've just run down. And it's probably also why he's not going to have any sort of repercussions from this.
Which, again, you can understand the frustration from the others, especially when people like Orton have been there. Great servants for over
pretty much the same amount of time, if not longer than Brock Lesnar.
But yeah, that's all we have for the scoop this week. Let us know what you thought of the news.
Oh, there was some nice scoops.
Thank you very much. Let's not do that again.
I'm just ruining my belly.
Let's just continue with the show. I'm quickly looking at news regarding Paul Heyman. Again, this is covered on GimmeSport.com to read the full story. Basically,
is this just basically to advertise your Give Me Sport page?
Well, I mean,
okay. So if let's say I was a regular listener. Hello, my name is regular listener Jun Staker. I would like to go on Give Me Sport, but Razar's page. So if I was to do that, how would I get to your page? So GiveMeSport.com /WWE. And this, okay. So on here I can see Triple H punishing Alberto Del Rio by blocking planned push. WWE won't punish Brock Lesnar for failed drugs test.
That's not mine. You can type in my name if you want.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so then this is what we do. So we go to the little search button in the top right-hand corner.
Or you go on Google and type in my name.
Or if you just go back to Google and type in Raza, Razakazzi.
Yep.
And then press enter, and there he is. Give Me Sport. Raza. Oh, you get a beautiful little picture of him as well. His LinkedIn profile. Oh, you know what? Everybody just go follow Raza on LinkedIn. You should go follow Raza on Twitter.
What's going on?
I don't know. I'm just really enthralled by this.
This episode's just taking a drastic turn.
It's my birthday episode. We can do what we want. You can look at his photos. You can zoom in. You can right click and save photo to desktop. Use as background. Yeah, that's staying with me now.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
You can go on his Twitter. You can read his tweets out. And yeah, you can just have fun with Razakazzi. Everybody go follow Raza.
That was the creepiest little dedication segment ever. But thank you. Paul Heyman. Basically, Lesnar is going to be taking time off following SummerSlam. Could return to the Royal Rumble, set to take on the Universal Champion, whoever it is. But Heyman needs something to do during that time. His new deal means he has a bit more freedom. He is being said that he does work hard. Pardon?
He already has freedom.
Yeah, but more of it.
What's more of all?
All freedom. He can do what he wants. reports are saying he does work hard for his money, more harder than he has to. The WWE do want to keep him on TV. Heyman himself wants to work with other stars, so the news is we could be seeing new Heyman guys. The two names that have been mentioned, either by Heyman himself, or he's shown interest in working with, or rumors are Samoa Joe
Yes.
and Shinsuke Nakamura. It doesn't mean he's going to work with
Yes.
both. It might be one, might be both, might be neither. We'll have to see. Is this something you can see happening?
The Samoa Joe straight away fits the criteria for a
Yeah.
Heyman guy. Everything about him is a beast. He doesn't care about others. He's very much a loner, but maybe he needs that character behind him to really elevate him to that next level. The only thing I would say with both of those people is they've already got an established career behind them.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what a Heyman guy needs. I mean, we've seen it not work for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So Cesaro, Ryback, the suplex guy's kid. Do you know what I mean? There's so many
Yeah.
people that it's just not worked for, and it's really only worked for people like Brock Lesnar because they're either a genetic freak who's going to be huge already, or B, for someone like Samoa Joe where they're already an established name.
I think with Lesnar, you can also
I'd
argue.
love to see it.
Yeah, I think with Lesnar, you can also argue that he did have a decorated amateur wrestling career, so there was a lot of hype when he signed anyway. So, but yeah, I think the first thing I'd love to see him on TV more. He does
Yes.
make others around him better. I bet he'd love to erase his own history of bad Heyman guys with Ryback and Curtis Axel. But yeah, I can see why he wants to work with Joe and Shinsuke. Both are good options. I do think Shinsuke probably does need a mouthpiece on the main roster, even though he's so charismatic, even though you're drawn to him during his entrance and his matches. I think a mouthpiece could be good for him. And obviously having Paul Heyman hype up this, charismatic person you come out to see could be good. On the other side, I think Paul Heyman himself is probably guaranteed more success with Samoa Joe. Established in the US, he obviously speaks English. He's a beast himself. He's basically somebody who's come to WWE with such a big career behind him. I believe they're friends as well in real life, which obviously does translate well on screen. And I think the key thing here is they must be on SmackDown, surely.
It doesn't make sense for either of these two to be on Raw.
Yeah, I think the only thing you can say that if they're on SmackDown, it gives SmackDown value. You get Paul Heyman on Tuesdays as well. But if you have him on Raw as well, while Brock Lesnar's out, if you go with Samoa Joe, for example, I also believe Samoa Joe is the better choice, more logical choice. It's a great way to build up another beast. I think Paul Heyman is the man to do that, and eventually having a Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar match, which is something Samoa Joe wants. He's mentioned it numerous times in interviews, and it should be a good match because both are really good wrestlers. I think that's the only way it could work on Raw, but otherwise, Shinsuke and Samoa Joe need to be on SmackDown if the Paul Heyman guys.
Oh, there's some great names. There's some genuine great names that would really fit with the Paul Heyman persona, and I agree with you because Paul Heyman does need this to change people's opinions on these failed Paul Heyman guys that he's had in the past, because it has really only worked for Brock Lesnar if you really think about it.
Yeah.
But it's perfect in the sense of you can really build up Samoa Joe into this feud and then have him face Brock Lesnar eventually, because I think at the moment if you were to bring him up and then put him in a match with Brock Lesnar, it's pretty obvious who's going to win.
Yeah.
Whereas if you put Paul Heyman in the middle of that and then he brings his two beasts together, oh man, that's a main event waiting to happen.
I think you can probably go down the same lines as the Punk and Lesnar. They're both Heyman guys. Paul Heyman chose who he wants to be with. He can choose Lesnar again, but the thing is, Samoa Joe could be, I wouldn't say a permanent replacement, but he is the replacement for Lesnar on a weekly basis. He can be the beast on a week, every single week, running through his opponents. Because he can still move. We've seen him on NXT, he can still wrestle fantastically well. And having him run through his opponents, potentially being a champion of the Royal Rumble, for example, you never know, it might be him if he's called up with the Universal Championship rumours.
I didn't even think about this.
So yeah, I do think it could happen. Whether WWE do cater to the fans' needs is a different story. But yeah, I think even though Shinsuke would be another great choice, as charismatic as he is, Paul Heyman would be a fantastic mouthpiece. I think it all links down to Brock Lesnar again, which is why I also believe Samoa Joe.
We could also have a Shinsuke versus Lesnar match, which would be huge.
Yeah, the King of Strong Style versus the Beast would be
exactly
a spectacle. I believe they've already faced off in Japan as well.
They have, and I believe Shinsuke won.
I believe Lesnar won. I'm not even sure. Do you want me to?
I think I will stall.
Yep.
So essentially, what we're saying here is Paul Heyman needs somebody else, and needs somebody else on SmackDown. And I think what we need to remember, I'll get to it in a second, but what we really truly need to remember is this clear fact. Are you ready?
No, I need the clear fact.
You need to interrupt me, so I don't have a clear fact. I don't have a clear fact.
He lost.
Oh, he lost. Yep, he lost.
He challenged Lesnar for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship on January 4th, 2006 at the Tukon Shiru Chapter 1, but lost. Yeah.
Tukon Shiru!
So yeah, as in...
That one!
It could work. I think Shinsuke has become a bigger star now as well, since 2006, 10 years later, so it does make sense to have that again. But again, I think Samoa Joe is probably a better choice out of the two. But if it doesn't happen, I wouldn't be upset with having Shinsuke as a Paul Heyman guy.
I'd be more than happy with either of them. Two really good shouts. And it reminds you that there are still these people in NXT that they need to bring up, but they need to bring up in the right way.
Yeah, and you can't...
I think Paul Heyman guys would be the perfect way.
That's the problem with NXT. They're so good. If you just bring them up, NXT could just crumble.
Yeah.
You need somebody to, keep the ship afloat when Samoa Joe does leave. We've had it with when Sami Zayn's gone, when Finn Balor's gone, when Kevin Owens is gone. People have been there. I do think NXT is lacking a little bit. This is a bit off topic. We won't get too much into it. But once they've established a main star, Samoa Joe should have been on the main roster without even being on NXT. He's that good.
Yeah.
But I think now that he's probably won over more WWE fans who probably didn't watch TNA or Ring of Honor or anything, that was important for him. Now,
but then we're getting there again though. So people like Bobby Roode, people like Austin Aries. So you've got these established stars that are there, as well as the newcomers. So like No Way Jose, Andrade, Almas, and people like that. We're really starting to see that next generation. And this is what happens with every generation. You always get people that come in and take over. So it's just the way life is. It's how they're used on the main roster that's my worry. Yeah. So for people like Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura, I know they're so far away from this person, but I don't want them to go down the same road as Tyler Breeze.
Yeah. I don't think they will because of their
stature.
Yeah, and how much backing they have from Triple H. So I think now in 2016 that's important.
True.
But yeah, either man can be the face of SmackDown, the heel. Well, Samoa Joe could be the heel. Yeah, interesting to see what does happen with that. Talking of TakeOver, Brooklyn 2 a night before SummerSlam. 6 matches are announced so far, I believe. There might be an unannounced match. I think they always do this, don't they? There's always one match that just happens that's not announced. We're battling as well, me and Arif, for the main event prediction.
It's the first prediction show ever.
Championship title, undisputed. United States Intercontinental Heavyweight Television Universal Championship prediction podcast.
Hardcore.
That's what we're battling for. Arif, if you want to take it away.
Well, I can't wait for you to repeat that next week. Ladies and gentlemen, NXT Brooklyn 2 comes live from Los Angeles, I believe. We've got a great card. It comes live from America.
I actually believed it for a second. I had to check, is it Los Angeles?
It's the Staples Center, of course. It's the Staples Center around the corner from the Staples Center.
NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, Staples Center in Los Angeles, yeah?
Yeah, that's the one. Okay. I'm pretty sure, Reza. You can't mess with this, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through predictions. All we have to do is choose one team or another, or one person or another. We get a point for every win. We don't lose any points for any losses, so that's completely fine. And at the end, we tally up those points, and your winner... I think what we should do is we should have a separate NXT Championship and a separate WWE Championship.
Okay, so what we can call it, this is the NXT Main Event Prediction Championship title, Undisputed United States Intercontinental Heavyweight Television Universal Championship Prediction Podcast Belt.
Hardcore Championship.
And the other one will be the WWE Main Event Prediction Championship Podcast title, Undisputed United States Intercontinental Heavyweight Television Universal Championship Prediction Hardcore Podcast Belt.
Sounds. Can you read the first one again?
The NXT main event prediction.
So what we'll do is we'll go through the NXT card now, and we're going to start with the Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, as the champions, facing off against Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Now, my knowledge of NXT isn't that great, Rosa. Can you give me an idea and a background as to who Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa are?
Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa are two indie wrestlers.
So there's two of them.
Triple H bought in as they've been competing on NXT for a while, but they haven't signed deals. So they've still competed elsewhere, Evolve, independent bookings. That's the interesting thing about these two. During the Cruiserweight Classic, Gargano and Ciampa had one of the best matches you will see this year, which Gargano won. Fans love these because of the chemistry they have, genuine friends, and I believe they've signed deals now with NXT because they're not taking any more independent bookings. That switches things up for me.
So, predictions then. The Revival versus Gargano and Ciampa.
Big fan of Ciampa and Gargano. The thing you said with the Revival team with Rollins has got me, I don't know, thinking now. But I'm going to go with my first instinct. I think this is the surprise of the night. I think we get new champions in Gargano and Ciampa.
Okay.
I think this is the surprise in Brooklyn.
Okay. And I'm going to agree.
Keeping in mind, they've already beaten the Revival in a non-title match.
I think it's the sort of event where you need a big switch up and you need a big new change. And I think having the Revival lose here and then debut on Raw, debut on SmackDown afterwards is the right thing to do. And who better than Gargano and Ciampa, two people, as you said, who have this chemistry, this natural charisma together to win those championships and be the next big tag team for now, and then eventually a feud between the two. I think this is the start of something great. So I'm also going to go for Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
Their popularity levels are probably on par with American Alpha, if I'm being honest. Mm-hmm. They are extremely popular.
Mm-hmm. So next match, we're going to go Austin Aries, and it's a singles match versus No Way Jose. Now, from what I've seen of No Way Jose, he's got a lot of charisma. He's he's an exciting character. Austin Aries is obviously there to help build up these characters and really help them take it to the next level. And I think because of that, for me, No Way Jose has to win this match.
Yeah.
There's no ifs and buts about it. Austin Aries is there to help develop this character, help develop No Way Jose. So therefore, I'm going to go No Way Jose.
I've not been invested in the story a lot. I like Jose. I think we were discussing before the podcast, or was it early in the podcast when the plan was to have No Way Jose to come up. Instead, they went for Mojo Rawley, your favourite. They probably do want to establish Jose a bit more in NXT. The officials are high on him, so I agree. I think No Way Jose takes this.
No Way Jose takes it. Rosa goes for No Way Jose as well, copying me there. A singles match with a diva that's new to the roster.
Yep.
Ember Moon. And she's facing Billie Kay. From what I've heard, I can't see this going any other way.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get your predictions first on A, the Ember Moon character, and B, what you think where you think this match will go.
Ember Moon, I think the independent fans will know as Adrienne Reese, trained by Booker T, I believe.
Oh, shucky ducky.
Very good in the ring. If I recommend you to watch her on YouTube. Again, we know how debuts go on NXT. I think Ember Moon is talented enough to win this match, talented enough to take the women's division NXT by storm. Not only will Ember Moon win this match, within the year she'll be NXT Women's Champion.
Bold claims, very bold claims. I'm gonna go with Rosa's prediction as well. I think Ember Moon is that sort of character where you can really see that she's gonna bring a lot to the NXT roster. Yeah. She could potentially be one of the best in-ring women's performers that the WWE have in years to come, and I think she's already shown that in the independent scene. So why not give her the win now, and why not take that to the next level and let her challenge the NXT champion?
I think they have to. I think they have to because she's the sort of woman who can help, NXT women's division stay afloat, especially if Bayley moves up. That's the thing with Bayley. She can only move up once NXT has a solid women's division. Right now it's Asuka and a handful of others. Mm-hmm. You need big stars like when you had Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Bayley together on NXT. That's what you need to create.
Yep.
And I think Ember Moon is probably one of those who can help steady the ship.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of Bayley, we move into the singles match for the NXT Women's Championship, and we've got Asuka, the champion, taking on Bayley. Now, for me, this has to go one way, and I think it has to go Asuka's way to allow Bayley to end this feud and develop further, and then go into the main roster. It's her time. I mean, at this point last year, we thought she was going to get brought up. I remember NXT Brooklyn 2015, where we thought the next night Bayley would get brought into the women's division on Raw.
Yeah.
and it just didn't happen. It's getting a little bit too late now for the WWE. Not that that's a bad thing for Bayley. It's giving her more time, and it's making people more hungry to see her on the main roster. But I think Asuka needs to win this to allow Bayley to say, okay, well, this is the end of this feud. I'm going back.
I think Asuka wins as well. Let's have a look at it, bother arguing otherwise.
I think it's going to be pretty obvious. Yeah. It's going to be pretty obvious.
Watch Bayley win now.
Bobby Roode versus Andrade Almas. Reza, talk us through this match.
This is a tough one for me. On one side, debuts on NXT do well, but WWE officials are very high on Almas. They want him as a top Hispanic star. This is Roode's first takeover match. He has a history. He has the fans. I don't know who the loss hurts more. Mm-hmm. I think this is a match where you could probably see a twist, maybe an interruption, an interference. But I'm going to have to go on my instinct to say Bobby Roode takes this on his debut.
Ooh, potentially James Storm helping him out there. I'm going to go for Andrade Almas.
Okay.
Just because he's really cool.
It's because he looks like you.
He looks a little bit like me, yeah. He does look a little bit like me.
So you technically only have yourself to blame when you lose the title?
I'm not going to lose the championship. I'm going to be the new NXT main event podcast, world, WWE, Intercontinental, European, US, heavyweight, TV, hardcore, FCW champion.
We'll see.
I don't know how you did that. Samoa Joe in the main event as the champion versus Shinsuke Nakamura. NXT Championship on the line. I'm struggling with this one. As much as I would love to see Shinsuke win the championship, I think Joe brings credibility to the title. Yeah. I think Joe brings a level of hurt that not a lot of other people have done. I mean, we're traditionally used to seeing smaller champions in NXT. And with Joe as the champion, there is this very much top of the food chain sort of character that's there. And I think he needs to stay champion for at least one more NXT pay-per-view. I think right now is not the right time to bring up Shinsuke, and I think maybe in a couple of months it'll be the right time to bring up Joe. So why not let the feud extend and let Joe win this time? So I'm going to go for Samoa Joe.
Again, I just don't want to see Shinsuke tap or get pinned. And I don't want to see Joe get pinned as well. So
where does it go then?
It's a tough one. That's the thing. Joe
we can have a no contest with this one.
I don't think they'll go for a no contest in the main event. The feud is going to extend. I don't think they'll have a new champion or Joe retains and one of them moves up the next week. I don't think that's going to happen.
Reza, you can go for a no contest if you want.
No, it's okay.
Honestly, it's not a problem.
I'm going to go with... I have to go with Samoa Joe to retain. I don't think he'll lose the title this early. Especially the way the feud has been built up as he's a monster and he can't be beaten.
Oh, fair enough. Well, to give you a rundown of the predictions, so we started off with the Revival versus Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Both Reza and myself went for Gargano and Ciampa to become the new NXT champions. No Way Jose versus Austin Aries. Both Reza and myself went for No Way Jose. You'll see this trend throughout pretty much the entire NXT review. Ember Moon versus Billie Kay. Both Reza and myself went for Ember Moon. Andrade Almas versus Bobby Roode, or Bobby Roode as it's written in my notes. This is the only place where we differed slightly, and I went for Andrade Almas, with Reza going for Bobby Roode. Both people trying to make waves in NXT, and it's going to be interesting to see that match. Asuka versus Bayley for the WWE NXT Women's Championship. Asuka to retain. Say both Reza and myself.
That was the most confident pick, wasn't it?
I think it definitely was. I think it definitely was. And watch Bayley win.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe versus Shinsuke Nakamura finally. Both Reza and myself went for Samoa Joe to retain the NXT Championship. And I think that brings us nicely to Sunday's pay-per-view.
Because on Sunday, we battle for the WWE Main Event Prediction Championship title. Undisputed United States Intercontinental Heavyweight Television Universal Championship Prediction Hardcore Podcast belt.
Oh, has the championship changed names?
Yeah, and so it differs from WWE and NXT.
Okay. Oh no, I mean because it was different to the last time you said it, which was also subsequently different to the last time you said it.
I don't recall. No.
Well, I have a great memory, like an elephant. So predictions.
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 SummerSlam.
So there are 11 matches on the SummerSlam card, live from Brooklyn in Los Angeles at the Staples Center.
It's like over 4 hours, isn't it? It's like a 5-hour show, this, with pre-show as well.
With the pre-show as well. And we've got Booker T on the pre-show. Oh, shucky ducky. Miss my shucky ducky moment of the week. You know Booker T can't read.
Really?
Watch him on the pre-show. When they do the tweets, Booker T never reads his tweet.
Really? I never
I'm
noticed.
pretty sure Booker T can't read or he struggles with reading. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just hilarious that he's got this far in life without having learned to read.
If he could do it.
Okay, Booker, this is your contract. If you want to mind, oh yes, right, it's all good. I'll sign it here. Do a spinneroonie. I don't know why he sounds like that. He doesn't sound like that.
Does he just do a spinneroonie every time he signs a contract?
Yeah. Booker, can you just read this? I'll do the spinneroonie 5 times, 5 times, 5 times. That's all he does. Let's start off with. You know what? We'll go in descending order for the list that I've got here because I guess we'll start off with the matches that mean the least.
Okay. And
what better place to start than Carmella and Becky Lynch versus Naomi, Natalya, and my love, Alexa Bliss. Reza, I would like you to go first with this one because I feel you would be able to give more insight on the 4 competitors apart from Alexa Bliss, and obviously then I will go on to Alexa Bliss's.
I think Eva Marie obviously suspended. Interesting thing here is Nikki Bella has been cleared to return.
Ooh.
So maybe she wants to be on SmackDown as well to travel with Cena. But does she want to be on the heel team? I don't think it really matters.
You mean the face team? The face team?
The face team?
Carmella and Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
I thought it was Naomi, Natalya, and Alexa.
No, Naomi's a face with her new.
Well, then it doesn't make sense for it to be 3-on-2 then.
Exactly. Something will happen. That's a fact. But yeah, I don't think it'll be a handicap match. Worst comes to worst, they'll just chuck Naomi to the side. But she had a great reaction on SmackDown with her new entrance.
She did, didn't she?
Yeah, which is good. I think
she's a good wrestler as well. She's not bad.
Very athletic. I think it's her mic work isn't strong enough compared to other heels and faces.
I was going to say, but what divas do have really strong mic work?
I think Charlotte, to be fair, as a heel.
Charlotte has good, but she's not on the same sort of level as the equivalent male superstar. And I don't mean that in a sexist way. I mean that in a factual way. It's just the women that are there right now. It's Bayley. Bayley is a perfect example. She's an amazing mic worker. Sasha Banks is an amazing mic worker, but the rest of the division is poor.
I think Becky Lynch is probably third in that list as a face.
Yeah.
She's okay. But yeah,
why don't people like me? Though that's all she says though. Why did she beat me up?
I think Naomi can improve. Like, I'm saying that she can improve. With that she can become a better female superstar. But I think this being in Brooklyn, they might want to have Carmella pick up the main pinfall as well. So I'm gonna have to go with Naomi, Becky Lynch, and Carmella in this.
Yeah. I'm going to go for exactly the same group. I think with it, if it is 3-on-2, then it's a no-brainer. If they bring in someone like Nikki Bella, then maybe you give it to Nikki Bella for the win, or maybe Nikki Bella just drops out of the team and lets Natalya lose. But I think the logical thing to do would be to go with Carmella, Becky Lynch, and Naomi for the win.
Yeah. Who do you think can be the partner if it's not Nikki Bella?
Maybe Dana Brooke, but she's on Raw. There's no women's division on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I mean, Alicia Fox, but she's on Raw.
They just need a throwaway female to participate in the match.
Exactly. Maybe Lita comes back.
Maybe. Just let Maurice do it. Just have a match.
There you go.
That'd be perfect.
Give it to Maurice. And why not talk about Maurice when we've got The Miz as champion, Intercontinental champion that is, versus Apollo Crews for that title. I would love to see Apollo Crews as the Intercontinental Champion. I think this is the right time to do it. I think The Miz has become stale, and I think The Miz with Maurice could go on to something better for their storyline. It's really difficult because you've got these comparisons between Raw and SmackDown with The Miz and Maurice and Rusev and Lana, and to have them as both champions at the same time, I struggle with it. Therefore, for me, Apollo Crews has to win. And Apollo Crews could really run with this and really become something if he was Intercontinental Champion.
I don't think this is the end of the feud. I'm so happy for Crews, how far he's come. I do think Crews will become champion, but I expect it to be at a SmackDown exclusive event, maybe Backlash or something. So I think at SummerSlam, The Miz will retain.
Oh, we went for The Miz. Oh, we change it up there as well. Cesaro versus Sheamus. This is the first match in a best of 7 series. They've been having some good matches recently. I mean, I think this is going to be a really good all-out brawl, and we know what Cesaro can do in the ring. Yeah. Sheamus isn't bad; it's just who he's paired with. And when he's paired with someone like Cesaro, it's great.
I think Sheamus with bigger guys, good wrestlers like Cesaro. Sheamus really comes into his own and does really well. In me first, shall I go?
Sure, go ahead.
I think Cesaro takes the lead in this one. 1-0 lead.
Just a 1-0 lead
in the first of best of 7 series. I don't think is it 7 in one night. It's not, is it?
No, it's not in one night. No. That would mean there were 18 matches on the card.
I thought you were waiting for me to say who wins the rest. No. I think at SummerSlam, Cesaro wins.
Okay, I'm going to go for Sheamus. I think it's the first match. I think we can throw this away as a heel victory to begin with. And then you get the face victories towards the end. So I see Sheamus actually going up 2-0 or 3-0 initially. And then we see the Cesaro comeback. Okay. So I'm going to go for Sheamus. And that brings us on nicely to, I guess, the New Day versus Gallows and Anderson. So it's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods with the tag team championships on the line versus the club. I think everything points to the club winning the titles this time, unless we get a Big E return.
I think this is where it has to happen. SummerSlam.
I just really see Gallows and Anderson winning. I can't look past it, so I'm going to go for the club in this match. I think it's got to happen.
For me, I think if they form the club at the end of the night, they won't win. But it's probably the most, the toughest match to call down the middle. Are we saying who wins the tag team titles?
Just wins the match.
Wins the match. I'm going to go the New Day win the match.
Okay. With Big E returning, or
I think Big E returns. I don't know if it will be during the middle of the match when we hear his voice on the PA system, or if he comes out with
Los Angeles
in the wrong arena, empty arena. But yeah,
right, okay. We need to hurry these predictions up. I feel like there are still several Enzo and Cass versus Jericho tag team match. What are your opinions on this new combination, Jericho and Kevin Owens?
I'm not being a show off, but I did call this on Gimme Sport. I did say Jericho needs to team with Kevin Owens.
He did call it.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I think this is some of Jericho's best work as well. It's the little things like the interviews.
He's got my back.
The interviews with Tom Phillips or whatever you call him, Nathaniel Bryan. Yeah, I think that works well. Good chemistry with Kevin Owens. Yep. That's the thing. I think the key thing here again is it's in Brooklyn, and I can see Big Cass and Enzo picking up a win.
Hey, we finally get Carmella and Enzo and Cass in the same arena again. Maybe they'll come back together. I'm also going to go for Enzo and Cass. I think what we'll see Jericho and Kevin Owens explode, because we're getting this whole.
He's got my back.
Yeah, he's got my back, and it's so adamant. It's so adamant that when Kevin Owens doesn't have his back, they're going to have a feud, and I think it's money. I think it's huge money. Jericho versus Kevin Owens would be a huge feud, even if it's heel versus heel. It'd be hilarious.
The comedic factor as well is just going to be ridiculous in that.
Exactly.
Just imagine.
Sasha Banks versus Charlotte. It's a singles match for the WWE Women's Championship, and Dana Brooke is barred from ringside. Do you see Sasha Banks retaining?
Yep.
Or do you see okay, well, there we go. I think that pretty much sums it up. I also see Sasha Banks retaining. I think it's too early to take the championship off her, and I think it'll leave people with a nice little go home as well. Rusev, this is a huge card. Rusev versus Roman Reigns. Again, another championship match, the WWE United States Championship. Rusev as the champion versus the up-and-comer, I guess, Roman Reigns. I'm going to go for Rusev. I think If The Miz loses, as I predicted earlier in the night, then Rusev keeping this championship extends the feud for a potential rematch in the future. And I think it can only be good for Roman Reigns to lose this match.
I'm going to go with Rusev as well.
Surprise, surprise. And I think this leads us nicely into the main event, the 4 real main event matches. We'll start off with John Cena versus AJ Styles, a match that we've seen before. For reasons that we've discussed before as well. I think I already know your prediction, but who do you say wins in this match?
It makes sense to have Styles win, especially Cena's on his way out. I'm assuming Cena will probably be a favourite, though, heading in with bookies and everyone. But I'm going to say Styles.
Yeah, I'm also going to go for Styles. I think it only makes sense, especially if John Cena is leaving, and it only puts over Styles, especially if the rumours are true that AJ is going to be going into the main event scene soon.
Yeah.
I guess we'll leave the championship matches for last. Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton, the singles match. Raw versus SmackDown. Brock Lesnar, the Beast, versus the Viper, Randy Orton.
I'm going to go with Lesnar, even though we did discuss how a punishment could be Orton winning. I think Lesnar wins. I think it's the only way he can get to the Universal Championship is by having another big win under his belt.
Agreed. And as much as it pains me to say it, I think Brock Lesnar has to win this match if the rumours are true that he's going to be facing the champion at the Royal Rumble. Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler, the singles match for the WWE World Championship. Dean Ambrose is the champion. Dolph Ziggler is the challenger. Raza, who wins?
Ambrose.
I'm going to go for Ziggler. I really think this is the time. I'm going to go for it. And if this bites me in the Russo, then so be it. But this is Ziggler's chance to be the main event of SmackDown. I think he can do it. I think he can be the Shawn Michaels of SmackDown.
Okay. That's a bold claim as well, but yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. And then, finally, your main event. Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins for the vacant WWE Universal Championship. I don't even know how to speak sometimes.
The Universal Championship.
The Universal Championship. Who wins? Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins.
I'm going to go with Balor. Finn Balor wins the title.
And your winner and new WWE Universal Champion, Finn Balor.
Yeah, I'm going with Balor.
Yeah, I'm going for Balor as well.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that noise was. That was weird.
That was easy enough. Do you quickly run down the predictions before we wrap things up?
Let's go. So, Carmella, Becky Lynch, and Naomi versus Alexa Bliss and Natalya. Both Rosa and myself went for Carmella, Becky Lynch, and Naomi. Rosa went for Cesaro, and I went for Sheamus in their singles match. First of a best of 7 series. A bit of a pointless best of 7 series, but there you go. The Miz, Rosa went for The Miz, versus Apollo Crews, my pick, for the singles match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Was the next match there. Enzo and Cass versus Jericho and Kevin Owens, or Jerry KO. Both Rosa and myself went for Enzo and Cass in this match, potentially building their feud there, as well as building the Jericho versus Kevin Owens feud. The New Day versus Gallows and Anderson. Rosa goes for a retention by the New Day. I go for new champions in the club. Sasha Banks versus Charlotte. No surprises here. Both Rosa and myself went for Sasha Banks to win and retain her championship. Rusev versus Roman Reigns. Again, no surprises here. Both Rosa and myself went for Rusev to retain the United States Championship. John Cena versus AJ Styles. And this is where it starts getting a little bit interesting, because both of us went for AJ Styles, but we're not 100% sure. So if you are making any sort of predictions, think about this match a little bit more. It's gonna be a fun one. Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler. Rosa goes for a Dean Ambrose retain, whereas I've gone for Dolph Ziggler winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton. Rosa and myself both went for Brock Lesnar. I think it's going to be clear that Lesnar wins this match. And Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. Both Rosa and myself went for your winner and new WWE Universal Champion, Finn Balor. And that's SummerSlam.
That should be interesting. Well, I'm afraid that's all we have time for this week. Thanks to all of you that stuck around to the end to listen. We'd love to hear any and all of your thoughts. So please do get in touch and make sure you follow us, like, recommend, subscribe on Podomatic, YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Instagram, everywhere and anywhere you want.
Facebook, Instagram.
Anywhere. A big thank you to Arif for joining me today.
Thank you, Rosa. It's been an absolute pleasure.
We'll be back next week with another episode. Much more to talk about and discuss, including the fallout.
Back to the normal time as well.
Yeah, including the fallout from NXT TakeOver, SummerSlam, and you can find out who is the new main event prediction championship title podcast, United States Intercontinental Heavyweight Hardcore Television Champion prediction podcast belt winner, and much more. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Before the events even started. I've been yours, Reza, and you've been listening to the Main Event Podcast.